What I would like to talk about today is that my concern for children is growing every day, and we know that now that the evidence supporting children's allegations becoming overwhelming, and with the help of people who are doing their own investigations and. So based on that and what we heard, we got a lot of evidence now of him, for example, connected to child pornography, him being a serial murderer and child rapist. So yeah, of course, I'm deeply concerned about my children's safety, and they remain at risk because they keep seeing him. Their dad still has access to them, and it's been increased, in fact. So a local authority, they ignore all of our requests in regards that they they give like sort of generic answers to our emails about the explanations of why, for example, he misled the public on BBC in BBC interview. So and I wanted to expand a little bit of what's going on in regards to the investigation, because the latest information which I would like to share with the listeners is connected to this to the earlier days of the investigation, which actually there was no investigation, in fact, as we know. And one of the main reasons was that the crucial evidence were concealed. And the crucial evidence, I mean those videos which found its way online, those private interview videos of the children, as well as the recordings of Jean Clément, who is Abraham's brother-in-law, and who we had contacted in the very beginning, who recorded children for quite a long time. And so those recordings, they were put away into storage. And only a few people knew about it. And in the names here, I've got DC Rogers, as well as D.I. Cannon, and also Matt Fernandez, who was in charge of the investigation and who made an executive decision to keep children to take children into care. He called me the day after, because those video recordings of the children, if they would be seen by investigators, this case will be should have been investigated, because this were main evidence, right? And but they were concealed, and because he would have been arrested otherwise, right? So they were concealed to prevent this from happening. And so this was the first time the criteria for arrest was satisfied, because of the existence of this evidence, right, which were concealed. And then later on, when he was interviewed in the police on the 15th, that I'm talking about, then during this interview, police received a medical report while he was interviewed, which confirmed the rape, and and still he was never arrested, right? He was let go free. We Gabriel just had his birthday a couple of days ago, and Alisa had her 10th birthday in April, and the end of April. And I don't see children. I don't see how they're growing. And nobody has the right to deprive me of this right, and nobody has the right to take childhood from the children as well. Especially, I haven't done anything wrong. My children haven't done anything wrong. All we did is reporting the most serious crime. As soon as I was aware, it was my duty as a citizen to make public aware what's going on. So that's where we are, and this is kind of my news for today. And if you'd like to maybe ask some questions, so
Yeah, that something that puzzles me is I understand that not only, I'm going back a bit, but not only was Ricky granted weekly access during the initial holding period before we even had all this mounting evidence, not only was he granted weekly access, but yours was left at every other week, but he was also granted Skype. He bought the children a laptop, as I understand, to Skype them daily. And so I don't understand the torture of why you can't be updated on your children's well-being, or even, once a week have 10 minutes supervised Skype, with them. I don't understand. Can you tell us the requests you put forward for contact or updates? How many times have you contacted them saying, I need an update on my children, I need to say happy birthday to my children, can you just tell us how many attempts you've made to open contact with your children?
Well, to be honest, I don't even I haven't even calculated, but I've sent them numerous we sent them numerous emails to local authority and to the Guardian, and there was nothing received in return. I also called Mr. Travers, the head of Barnet, on numerous occasions, and also I haven't got anything out of it. He's been always either at the meeting, on holidays, on this and that, or I was just blatantly ignored. For example, I
So
would call and
no
they say,
no response. They haven't said, no, you can't speak to them. No, we won't give you an update. They've just
They
ignored
just
everything.
ignore. They just ignore our requests. The last response I had from them was after these videos were released, and they say they're suspending the contacts due to this incident of the videos being published online. And yes, I mean, he's been seeing them once a week. This is until the hearing where I was present, where his solicitors, they asked for increase of the contacts, and I'm sure it's been granted. And
No idea. So you have no news of the children whatsoever.
well, we had some news, and that was there was some information sent to a Russian consulate, and this was passed to my parents after that, and was been mentioned that children been moved to the third family, and also, by the way, during the last interview, when my parents were tricked to come to London, and where they've been bullied into agreeing with the Pafley's judgment, they've been told that children express a desire to stay in foster family, which is, I know, it's not true. I know children wants to come back home. During my last contact, children said that they really want to come back home, and they really miss their brother and grandparents, and they were visibly stressed, actually, and you can see they've been intimidated. They've been looking for approval from the social service social worker who's been present. Every time they said something, they kept looking whether they said everything right or wrong.
Yeah, high anxiety.
You can see, and of course, I'm also concerned they've been brainwashing them now.
Yeah, yeah. And so they're in the third foster family. Do you think they are together or separated?
Well, as far as I know, they're together, but I mean, this is
Your parents weren't given any reason why they've moved for the third time. That's so disruptive for them.
exactly. And like in the beginning, they haven't even sent them to school. They kept them out of school for over 3 months.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously to prevent children, to make sure the children don't talk.
Yeah, very disturbing. Disturbing.
Yeah. And what else? Something else I was going to mention when you mentioned about the laptops.
Yeah, the Skype. If the father had Skype access, if you were considered to be in contempt of court, you were not the person that released the videos. They were inadvertently released. We can't change that. We know that you had a plan in action that You know, if all else failed, you would have blurred your children's faces and so on. And we can't turn the clock back. But I don't understand, and I'm sure nobody does, why does that merit cutting contact completely, whether Skype or whether email or whether, you know, a phone call or even a social worker to update you? I don't understand why alleged contempt of court would merit no contact, and yet alleged rape and sodomy and murder and terrorizing and criminal neglect and criminal sadistic abuse didn't even merit arrest or investigation, and his contact continues and increases, and he can Skype. It's such a, you know, it's such crazy imbalance. So they allege you're in contempt of court, bang, no contact. The children allege their father has done the most despicable, depraved crimes against them and others, and there's not even a time of saying he can't have access or he can't have contact until we investigate this thoroughly. It's insane.
And the thing is, you know, that that the investigation was actually closed on the 22nd, right? However, the children were still talking to the foster carer about the abuse.
Absolutely.
And they've been giving more and more details about the teacher, about Mr. Hollings, for example, and how he would tell them to bite on the refresher if it hurted them, right?
Yeah.
While he was raping them in school. So so they didn't actually even get the story correct. You can see it's all lies because, you know, different people, different parts of this, you know, different people who play some role in this, they haven't got their roles correct, you know. Even the foster carer, she thought actually the investigation was closed on the 30th.
Yeah, it's a mess, and really the burden is off the children, you know, because the evidence that's been uncovered since the video disclosures and since the children were silenced is just in itself would merit no contact by any of the alleged abusers and a thorough investigation. So, and you, am I right in thinking you've instructed a solicitor, a legal team that you're happy with?
Well, at the moment, yes, but we've been heavily intimidated. Like, for example, they were trying to exclude my legal representative from the proceedings because that was their agenda all along. They hounded me out of the country on the false pretense, right?
Yeah.
And now they're trying to exclude my legal representative. So there is nobody representing us, right? And,
wow. And then I'm sure it must be illegal if you have retained a legal team and you're out of the country, but you're absolutely passionately, proactively, of course you are committed to this proceedings to get your children back, then I would imagine it's illegal not to inform your legal team of every little step of the way. You know, that they can't exclude if you've retained somebody and he's qualified.
They do it, but they do it. But the point is, they do it. Not just that, they haven't even they're actually even refusing to give up to date papers. You know, the bundle to my solicitor, and they just came with something some awkward suggestion, you know, for him to come to read the extensive material of the court of the proceedings in their chambers, in our opponent chambers.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we could delegate if that's the only way to get sight of everything. Maybe somebody could be delegated, like a you know, to go and do that. I don't know, but I can't believe that such blatant disregard for the law will be allowed to continue.
Well, that's what we're exactly, but that's what we're experiencing just now. It's happening all over. It's happening in France, for example. You know, have you heard about this case called Amid-Lisa? It's the south of France, Saint-Tropez, rich area, where the father was, he's a builder. He was building houses for the cult members, and his 3 children, age of 3, 5, and 6, told their mother and grandfather about the rape and about the killing of the babies in front of the camera performed by their dad. And so again, the mother was psychiatrically assessed. They said she's mentally ill, and they gave 3 years to her. 3 years of jail sentence to her and grandfather for false accusation for coaching and torturing children. Very similar situations. So it's going all over the place, as well as Norwich cases going on right now. 10 people, 6 women and 4 men been accused for raping, I think 5 children. I think 5 children gave the evidences.
Yes,
There were witnesses of that.
Angie, before you...
Yes.
You want to say something
about the black case?
Well, go ahead while you're here.
I feel that the reason MSM aren't reporting on it is because it's a cover-up. I feel that they're going to defame the social worker, Gail Barnard, and they're not reporting on the blood drinking. Initially, when the case was first reported on, they were rubbishing or calling the claims of blood drinking nonsensical. And one of the children that gave evidence, what did he say? He said that he thought everybody was doing it.
And that's exactly what my children told us, that they thought everybody's doing it.
I think millions of people worldwide have seen the video disclosures, and I think if ever there was an opportunity for change, we can't give up. We can't give up.
Well, the thing is, I never said let's not hope. What I'm saying is, let's not hope, but let's do something about it.
Absolutely. So thank you. So please tell me what you would like, what people can do to help.
Well, I guess everybody can do their best, and according to their abilities. We're already getting a lot of help from the supporters. Yeah, I mean, we have to put a stop to it, and let's put more pressure on Barnett, on Home Office, Metropolitan Police. But we know they're all together. I mean, we have to work out a strategy to put a stop. For my children and for all other children, because children are still being trapped into it. And remember, we discussed it about 18 other children. Well, actually not 18, 18 other families.
Yeah.
Actually 19, aren't they? But there are more children because those families have more than one child, right? And so those children are still trapped. Okay. And those children have never been interviewed, and they don't want to be in the cult. Yeah. Those children like Sophie Harleka, Millie Cowell, James Upson, son of Galina Upson, Yuvraj. Those children do not want to be there. They don't like this. Absolutely. And they're crying for help.
Okay, well look, it is disheartening, and Ella is right that of course we have hope, and of course we spend every waking hour doing whatever we can, but at the same time we have reality, and the reality is pretty grim in England, in the justice system, in parts of Kafkas, in parts of the police. So I think it's a very it's a very sobering thought. And just I don't want to hear anybody say we learned our lessons from Savile if the same thing is just happening still. So I pray for a miracle.
He is new, Jimmy Savile. He's supplying children and infants to MPs, to the government, to so-called elite members.
Yeah.
I still have
okay, well look, thank you so much for your time, Ella. I hope we can connect again in a week. I know it's difficult it's difficult to fit everything in. I know you're working globally. There's different countries working with you, and I know both of you are working really hard. anybody that wants to get a full spectrum of all the evidence and all the activity going on, Hampstead Research blog is very alive. Email, write, speak, pray, do whatever you can, and just, you know, help in whatever way you can. You know, there are more of us than there are more good people that are horrified with this than there are powerful people who have been doing this for a long time.
Exactly. And the power is in our hands, because remember that it's only a little percentage of population is doing that.
Yes.
It's much more of us than them. It just we've been brainwashed, we've been misled, and distracted by the television, by the entertainment, while they created a system to snatch our children, to rape our children, and they created a system to protect themselves from this, from the justice.
Very good, very good. And I just want to finish on that many people have said, you know, the alleged abusers are innocent until proven guilty, but legal advice is that actually there's an exception to that, and it's is when children make serious allegations, credible allegations of abuse, then you believe the abusers to be guilty until proven otherwise. The burden of proof shifts with regard, in European and international law, the burden of proof shifts when it's regarding child abuse, serious child abuse allegations.
But then we have a proof in this case. We have medical evidence.
Absolutely. So therefore, it's just irrelevant to say that, you know, these poor alleged abusers are being harassed. That's rubbish. But look, thank you for this, Ella, and let's connect soon. And we just keep praying, and we just keep doing everything we can do every day, and as you do, and as Abraham does, and as everybody that is committed to these children being released.
And
thank you
so
everybody
much. Else.
Yeah, and thank you.
Let's put stop to it.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right. God bless.
Speak to you soon.